I'm DeCall Thomas. I'm the owner of Welding Nevada. People ask me all the time, how did you learn welding? Well, as a kid, I remember watching my dad welding in the backyard, and sure, we always kind of participated, watched, hold things for him. So we always knew what to do. We always knew what was happening. We always knew how to do it, really. So eventually in welding, I started actually producing things and doing things with Dad, and bigger welding jobs, and that's how I learned welding. We've tried to streamline this. I've thought about this a lot. This is a huge importance to me. What are the steps? What is the least amount of steps? And what is the most important things? I realize certification is it. Certification is the end goal. All right, so what are the steps? So you're saying a new student, when they walk in, we literally put them on the saw and we cut some pieces and we start prepping those pieces. Then we have 5 steps. Weld it flat, weld it vertical up, weld it overhead, and then the other 2 steps are practice certification and full certification. And so we've reduced all the steps down to 5 things. And the reason we can be so confident with those 5 steps is because that's all the code book asks for, is a perfect weld test. There's no written test, there's no book work required, there's no lectures required. Sure, there's safety required, but that's it.
Hey, I'm Brian. I'm one of the welding instructors here, and I'll show you and teach you how to weld. I'm 28. What got me into welding was monster trucks and hot rods, watching videos as a young kid, and low riders on the street. The car customization scene really talked to me, inspired me, and I always wondered how they put these 2 cars together, make it into one badass car, and welding was the answer. The biggest advantage of our program is our flexible scheduling, which allows you to attend as much as you can, which means you could do a lot of learning, a lot of welding within a short amount of time. As opposed to a university or community college, you're forced to stick to their schedule. So if their scheduling is twice a week, then you gotta go out twice a week, right? Where compared to us, you could show up every single day of the week if your schedule will allow you to, which allows you to learn a lot more quickly and complete the course in a much shorter span of time. I would say 75% of students have never welded before, and even less have ever used any power tools. So on our students' first day, one of the other instructors will show them around how to grab the material, cut it, prep it, turn the welding machine on, get some basic weld started, and we'll help and supervise you on the way. And then I always tell everyone there's no such thing as dumb questions, or if you feel unsafe or you want any of the instructors to demonstrate anything in terms of cutting the material, grabbing and measuring, ask us. Don't be shy, embarrassed, or intimidated. This is school, come find us. Don't think there's any dumb questions. Ask us. We'd rather have you ask us than you hurt yourself or break a machine. Average day for students, I would say right now is about 3 to 4 hours long. Students come in, cut, prep, find a welding machine, start warming up, practice, and then one of the instructors will come up and check up on them, see how they're progressing, mentor them if they need to improve the quality or they're struggling with a specific part of the weld, and try to remind them of the basics of machine settings and technique and pattern. And then the students will continually progress and try to get better results and quality of the weld, and repeat as necessary. It's not the easiest to say exactly study this, you'll be an awesome welder if you learn how to do this, but tape measure, learning how to read a tape measure might be simple, but you gotta learn what all the little lines and numbers mean on the tape measure. Learning how to use basic hand tools like pliers, clamps, rulers. There's a lot of rulers that you can use, straight edges. YouTube videos, how to weld, right? There's only so much you can learn on YouTube, but at least get an introductory to what the machines or tools are and all the moving parts in it are involved. And just kind of know what you're walking into a little bit. You don't have to know everything to come and learn, just have somewhat of an idea. Math, definitely. Algebra, geometry, there's a lot of lines, shapes, bends. The basics, you don't have to be super good at it. You just gotta remember and learn your formulas.
You need multiple certifications. It's not gonna impress anybody if you have one certification. but that's still better than a guy with no certifications, all right? So 3, 4, 5, 6 certifications. You will get hired or you will go onto a job site with those certifications. But what I recommend to guys, okay, go take a job, even if you kind of hate it, take the job, work for 3 months at least, maybe 3 to 6 months. Learn everything you can about that company, about that industry, work hard, impress them, make connections with those people. Once you make those connections, see how it's all done, then get a better job and be looking that whole time for a better job. Switch jobs, now do the same steps, 3 to 6 months at that place. Don't burn any bridges. Make friends everywhere you go. Learn everything in that industry and be a hotshot, be impressive. Do your best work.